Hey, welcome, Nico. It's always nice to see you, your smiley face and so forth. I mean, I I just miss seeing you in real life. So tell me, how has it been being back on tour? How was Indian Wells?
Well, Indian Wells is always a special tournament. Weird to have it at the end of the year, but it is what it is. And I think they adapted well. Unfortunately, no unvaccinated people were allowed. That's why the crowds were so low, but we had some great tennis. And, without the big names in playing in terms of the man or Ash Barty, in terms of the woman, I think we had tremendous quality of tennis and some great champions.
How about new champions? I
Yeah.
mean, English tennis, where does that come from? And the new Spanish girl.
Well, this guy Nori, he's been in my radar for quite some time. He loves to play in Mexico. I just remember one day he won the first round, and the next day he went and jumped out of a plane and parachuted down. So that caught my attention, and he's just been improving year after year. I think physically he's become much stronger. And it's one of those cases that he went to college and then started playing pro afterwards. And he's just steadily climbing up the rankings. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. This guy's a grinder. He's been a big fighter, but I never thought, I have to be honest here, I never thought he would rise to the levels of winning at 1,000. And in the women's, that Spanish girl, Balosa, she's just treat to see the refreshing smile coming out of the juniors, very heralded junior career. And she had not reached the potential according to herself. And she said she's been working with a psychologist, and happy to see those type of players break through. So it's a breath of fresh air for tennis, and two very deserving champions.
Tell me, I mean, there's so much being written about Raducanu and everything that's going on, change of coaches, billionaire, you know, uh, what do you make out of it? Because it's like almost like, a horror show, everything that's following her all over the place.
Yeah, well, born in Canada and immigrants, hardworking people. For them, money has been very hard to come by. Maybe the coach had a back end deal in which he, had a low paying salary, but it was highly incentivized with the bonuses. And I think maybe the bonuses, the parents didn't want to, or the father, that seems to be the one that is involved, didn't appreciate dishing out that much money. And he says that coaches are charging a lot of money, but his girl just won a $3 million tournament. So it's life in the high stakes game of tennis these days. And if you want a good coach, you're going to have to pay for it. She was working with Nigel Sears, who I think was one of the best in the business. And then she switched coaches to the coach that she was working with when she won the US Open. And 2 weeks later, the guy's gone. And now we, don't know where they're going. My issue is, I don't want her talents to go to waste, because as my colleague Tracy Austin was mentioning something, and she was saying that, and she knows a thing or two about being a teenage sensation, winning the US Open as a teenager herself. But everything is going to change so much, or has changed so much for Raducanu at this moment, that changing the little things that would stay the same, that gives her stability. It's a rather tricky proposition. So I don't know about this one, but I wish her the best, because I really enjoy watching her play.
I read somewhere where her father was really involved. He even thought that maybe there should be a coach for every stroke somewhere. So I guess the father is really involved. Tell me, the rest of the season now. I mean, who's going to play? Who's going to play in Paris? And who's going to be in Italy for the year-end event?
Well, we know Djokovic is playing. That was a big news this year. Novak coming out and saying that he will play Paris, that he will play the end of the year championship. He's number one, far and above the rest of the competition, leading by 2,000 points to Medvedev. And that he would play Davis Cup as well in Madrid, hoping that he could go to Australia, depending on how the protocols come out at the end. But, talking about who is going to be in the year end, well, everybody except Rafa, Team, and Roger, that are not playing. So The competition is harsh for those last spots. Nori jumped into it. Shapovalov, I believe, it's close. Has a chance if he does well in Paris. There is only that 1,000 less. Sinner as well is very close. He's doing well this week. He's in the semis already. So it should be very interesting. Looking forward to it. It's been a very hard year for the players. A lot of emotional toll, and we've seen some great tennis and some great stories. I mean, we are surrounded by great stories. We have the Karatsev story. He's going to be top 20 after this week, I believe. So he started the year qualifying and getting to the semis of the Australian Open. So it's been a year full of surprises. And let's see, in this home stretch, if you will, what happens. And I'm very curious to see who are the last 8 to qualify for Milan.
It'd be interesting to have 2 Italians in the finals in Italy. That would be quite something. I just cannot believe the renaissance of Italian tennis. I remember on tour, it was always, Italians can only play good at home because they need to have their mother around. But I guess something has changed.
And the curious part is that you have 8 of them in the top 100. Some better and some younger. And we had this week, we had the Sinner-Musetti match. Musetti's going through some struggles, but I'm sure that young man at 19 will have a wonderful career. Sinner is more centered, more hardworking. What catches my eye is they all come from all corners of Italy. It's not like they're coming from one school. They all have different coaches. Most of them have the same coach that they started with, and that just catches your eye. And it's just great to see, because you and I know how passionate Italians are about everything they do, and they love their tennis and had not had a big star for a long, long time. Yes, you had some players in the top 10, but the amount of players that they have right now, I would love to be that Davis Cup captain.
Yeah, it really is amazing, especially when you consider the system that they come out of, which is no system. It must be the food. It must be the food, because that Italian food is the best. Last question. So is Noel going to get vaccinated and make it to Melbourne?
That's he can only answer that. And he has not officially said that he's not vaccinated. He's just said that he's not willing to disclose his situation, which, between the lines might mean that he is, maybe he'll come out and surprise us all and show up in Melbourne with his certificate saying that he is vaccinated. And here we are speculating that he's not. So that's a very private matter, and you have to respect the great champion that he is, and you have to respect the personal decision. He's won 9 times, and he's looking to become the leader with 21 slams. Rafa is going. I don't see Roger going yet, but you never know. It will be interesting. It's I don't know. I don't know about predicting the future when the present is so nice. This week has been some great tennis. We still have that 1,000 coming up in Paris, and just enjoying, as difficult as it has been, a great 2021 season.
Well, Nico, we'll talk to you after Paris and the finals in Italy. It should be an interesting talk. As always, thank you very much, brother.
It is my pleasure. You take care, and a big hug to all the Canadians checking this out. Be well and stay safe for the winter. It is coming.
I know some guy that was going to move to Canada, but then it got too cold and he went back down south. His name was something like Nicholas Pereira. One love, bro.